Yes, it is. Well, hey, everybody. Mac Atkinson here, and along with Wendy, Judy, and Julie, we'd like to welcome you all to our kickoff call for the 10-day summer transition event that will take place between September 20th and September 30th this month. I wanted to put this slide up here just because I think it fits in for all of us and where we're at. Every day is another chance to get stronger, to eat better, to live healthier, and to be the best version of you. With that said, we are going to talk about some Sunrider foods today. And so I just want to go through our normal disclaimer here, which is none of the information provided in this presentation is intended to represent a diagnosis or cure of any illness or disease. Now, let me move our pictures out of the way so I can advance the slides. Julie, would you mind talking to us a little bit about the 5-element theory? And you'll need to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, Matt. In Western medicine, we're taught that there are 10 major body systems. But Chinese medicine says there are only 5 major systems, and they call these systems elements. And as you can see from this chart, these elements not only have body organs connected to it, but also it's related to seasons, emotions, colors, actions, and even electrical energy systems called meridians. And all these systems are connected, and when energy is flowing properly in our body and it's running smoothly, we absolutely feel happy and we feel well. One of the reasons that Sunrider is so special is that Dr. Chan has given us a modern day version of the ancient formulas that feed these 5 systems, these major elements, so we can have the nutrition and the energy necessary for simply living life. And we feel good, we have a sense of well-being. And for many of us that have been in Sunrider for a long, long time, we know that this is absolutely true, right? We know that. We've experienced it in our life. And today we're going to focus on the earth element, which is often referred to as Indian summer or late summer. And that's the season we are in right now. And if you can see from the next slide, Matt, a few important fun facts about this element. Even though this element really is a short season, it's really very important period because it's a time that we need to prepare and ready ourselves for the year's work. And it's also considered a time that we actually need to slow down and gather in a little bit ourselves. It's a time to stop and observe the abundance that we have created in our lives, or the lack of abundance, and to see what our symbolic harvest has been. And now it's the time to also reflect where we are, stop the wheels of doing and temporarily being, and literally connect with the earth, which is commonly called grounded or grounding. Like an example, like walking barefoot on the grass. And so many of us wear our shoes all the time, and even when we go outside, but just walking barefoot is very, very healthy. It's grounding. And I had a friend tell me the other day that she absolutely just had to go to the beach, had to sit there and be quiet. And she had no idea that she's actually really doing what she needed to do in this time of the earth element. So in order to live more fully in this element, we have to consume vegetables from the earth, water, and for what we consume, it becomes who we are, really. And that's why it's important to assist in our digestion and heal any imbalances, technically, that we may have. Because see, if our digestion is good and our nutritional needs are met, we're going to have a surplus of energy, and it's going to allow us to help support other people. And that's really what life's all about. And as we saw in the previous slide, the organs relating to the earth element are spleen, pancreas, and stomach. So the spleen and the pancreas, this function supports digestion and it supports assimilation. The spleen is said to be responsible for transforming our food into energy and blood. And it extracts the essence from our food and it helps eliminate the waste. Well, in Western terms, we see that also blood sugar metabolism is mediated by that spleen-pancreas relationship and function. Now, our stomach, like, its primary function of the stomach is to rot and ripen. In the mouth, our food is broken down with saliva, and then as it continues down through our intestines, in our stomach, it has the digestive enzymes and so forth. And once the food is broken down, and the stomach transforms all of this food, but then it is sent to the spleen, where it can distribute the essence to all the parts of the body and mind. That's pretty interesting. I mean, I find that pretty amazing, right? How great we've been created. So the symptoms that would be like if our earth element had an imbalance would be excessive mucus in nose, throat, and mouth. Also heavy feelings in the body, heavy achy arms and legs and head, sugar cravings, bloating, indigestion, bowel irregularities, also lethargy, lack of energy, low self-esteem, chronically worrying, craving of love and affection, and even muscle tone. And you might think, well, what does muscle tone have to do with digestion? Well, very interesting. In Chinese medicine, the spleen is the main digestive organ. And if digestion is good and harmonious and is adequately transporting nutrients to the muscles will respond well to exercise with bold definition and tone. However, it is also believed that if the spleen and the digestion are out of balance, the muscles will lose tone, appear thin, or even wasted. And to develop muscle tone, it would be really hard. You could go working out and all that, but it wouldn't happen for you. So no matter how hard a person worked out, they wouldn't get that muscle tone if they were lacking in that spleen energy. So what do we have, to help the imbalance with the earth element? Well, we eat the foods and herbal products that are connected to the earth element, and we can recuperate our energy. And one example is sunrise. Now, if you go to the website, what does Sunrider say about sunrise? It will say it's pure liquid energy in a vial. And it truly is. It's great to take whenever you need a pick-me-up, keep your mind sharp, because a lot of the herbs in here are for the brain, and it's also good for body energy. And then it says, and it's great to take before working out and designed to help your workout. Why does it say that? Well, when you look at all the ingredients in Sunrise, these ingredients are designed to release the energy in the kidneys, liver, and spleen to promote energy to the muscles. So if you haven't tried it yet, I really encourage you to try this. I know so many people that they've tried Liquid 5 and Sunrise to just recover from horrible illnesses or traumas in their life, and it is amazing. So I invite you to really try Sunrise in this challenge, 10-day challenge. So Mac, are you going to tell us a little bit more about Sunrider?
Well, thank you, Yan. And I know that this is a pretty experienced group that's on the call here, but for anybody that's listening to this in the recording that's kind of new to Sunrider, just wanted to touch a little bit on some of the basics that certainly excite me about this company and the opportunity they provide. First of all, Sunrider's been around close to 40 years, so it's an extremely stable company, which is unusual in our industry. They provide us an opportunity to operate in over 50 countries around the world, which prior to COVID was one of my favorite things about Sunrider, being able to travel around the world a couple times each year and interact with other cultures and people and just experience the rest of the world outside of the United States. One of the things that's truly important to me, coming from a chemical manufacturing background and pharmaceutical background, which is where I came from, is that Sunrider internally handles 100% of all the research, development, and manufacturing of our products. And why that's so important is many companies in our industry will simply take a recipe, they'll hand it to a third-party manufacturer, say, make my product for me, I'll put my label on it and sell it. So they have no control over the process. That's not the case with Sunrider. So important, I'm going to repeat it again. Sunrider internally handles 100% of all the research, development, and manufacturing of over 400 of the world's finest health and beauty products. And we're talking about everything from whole food nutritional products to cleansing beverages to weight management to sports and fitness to green household and all natural skincare and cosmetics. One of the other things that's important for people to know is they're all manufactured right here at our 1 million square foot manufacturing facility in Los Angeles, California. Now, most of us know that Sunrider, planning for the future, is actually building another facility right now of similar size and right outside of the Dallas, Texas area. So all of our manufacturing will eventually transition to there. But the important part is Sunrider will maintain control over everything that happens to the research, development, and manufacturing of our foods. Now, lastly, I'd like to just kind of, if I can figure out how to make my slide advance here. Let's go, bang, there we go. Oh, sorry, wrong way. The philosophy of regeneration is what truly makes our products unique. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because, again, most of us are aware of the fact that philosophy of regeneration is based around some simple principles of the fact that what we provide are whole foods, no chemicals, no isolates. We provide extreme variety. We'll be talking about some of that and some of the products that we'll discuss in a second. But quinary is a perfect example of it. Over 50 different herbs, plants, and flowers making up a single formula in their quinary. The idea of concentration, and again, we'll talk a little bit more about this too, but Sunrider, as most of us know, starts with a large amount, 10, 20 kilos of a raw material herb and concentrates that down to a single kilo, which is what provides the products that we end up eating. And then there's the formulation and expertise that comes from owner expertise. And with all of that, I guess very simply, how I kind of look at this whole philosophy of regeneration is if we nourish and cleanse our body with whole food nutrition and cleansing beverages, our bodies will act not only in balance, but they will act as they were originally designed. They can repair, renew, and regenerate themselves naturally. And sorry, let me let in, well, somebody help me let people in, thank you. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna then pass the baton over to Judy to talk to us about a few of the products that are required in this wonderful 10-day program we've got coming up.
Great, thank you, Mac. It's my privilege to talk about assimilate. This is the food for the digestive system, one of the 5 main systems. So all of us have heard this saying, you are what you eat. But the revised version of that is you are what you assimilate. So the truth is, it doesn't matter what we're taking in. If our body can't break it down, process it, and utilize it, our body will not experience the nutrition nor the energy from our foods. So with assimilate, it's so fascinating because it's food grade. It feeds and strengthens the digestive system. So the digestive system really begins in the mouth, so from top all the way to bottom, and we don't need to go through each particular spot, but it all gets nourished by this. So for example, you might have maybe be prone to canker sores or some kind of a mouth irritation, or maybe heartburn or acid reflux, or maybe something a little more serious. Maybe you have constipation or diarrhea or too much belching or bloating. All these things are imbalances, as Julie covered, in the digestive tract. And so assimilate, because it is food, nourishes everything. Have you ever been around a baby with colic? Oh my goodness, everyone wants to help that baby. I've experienced opening up the capsules and making a tea, dipping the pacifier in that, or even by dropper bottle or adding it to a baby bottle. So it's good for the young and the old, for everyone. And this particular season, we're going to be more focused on this because the stomach, as Julie told us, is involved in the earth element. It also has a satisfying cooling effect. And when we eat this in quinary, we're actually getting 2 capsules. So if we have a quinary packet or the liquid 5, we've taken in 2 capsules of assimilate. However, the recommendation on the bottle is 6 capsules a day. Now, that may be not enough or too much for some. So each person has to decide this on their own. But during our 10-day stint, so to speak, we would encourage you to try to increase it. Now, some may think I'm fine. I don't have any of those situations. But the interesting thing is increasing that a little bit, just as we're going to encourage increasing the foods that are good for fall, will actually assist your body to be more ready for then the next season. Give it the energy to propel it to the next stage. And guess what? In the next seasonal grouping of autumn, it's large intestine. So if you don't have a good working stomach, you're going to have a much more difficult time assisting the large intestine. So that's why we do this. And some may want to take it, say, 2 extra with a meal before or after. And something that I'm going to start incorporating is maybe opening 2 capsules in my cinnamon Cali for an after dinner drink, so to speak, or else maybe in my Cali night before bed. So however you choose to increase it, of course, is your choice. And assimilate will help everyone, and you can make a lot of good friends with assimilate, as I have done in the past, by helping them alleviate some of those digestive discomforts. Now, Wendy, will you share some more products that are on our program?
Sure. So we have Sun Nectar Sunny Dew. It tastes sweet, nourishes the pancreas, helps balance blood sugar, and Sun Nectar is thought to have more of a grounding effect. So these are our stevia products, and Sun Nectar has a dark color, anise, more of an anise flavor, but they're both very, very beneficial. And let's see, our stevia, Sunrider stevia, is grown without pesticides, no preservatives or alcohol, and it's the only stevia that I can handle. The herb stevia has tannic acid naturally occurring in the stem, so Dr. Chen, with his enhancements and concentration process, is able to eliminate this and any other naturally occurring negative ingredients. So it is a health food with the good fortune of tasting sweet. And so even if you have had some problems with stevia, you should please try ours. New Plus. So New Plus, at least 1 package per day. It's the easiest form of nutrition, taking no energy to digest, and feeds at the cellular level. So it is a perfect zone meal with the right combination of vegan protein, complex carbohydrates, and a healthy fat. It's really good for recuperation and between meals, and I find it's very soothing and comforting. I drink it first thing in the morning and before bed at night. It's a good source of amino acids naturally as they occur in foods. Then we have quinary. And quinary, a bottle of quinary or the powder, or we have the vials, liquid 5, and that would be preferable. It nourishes the body to encourage balance by supplying 50 concentrated plants, which are system specific to the 5 major systems of the body. And so with liquid 5, it being a liquid, it's assimilated into the body much more easily and readily. And also it has more immune boosting ingredients. And I just wanted to mention that Dr. Chen drinks the liquid 5 and then follows it with a sunrise that Julie was talking about. So it's really a dynamic duo, and it boosts many systems and organs and gives us internal energy. Then we have Sunrise. So a box of Sunrise, it's tremendous nourishment for the inner strength and energy of the body. It feeds the tissues, muscles, and the spleen, as Julie was talking about. And I've only just recently started using Sunrise, and I really like it very much. It gives me it really helps my energy and feeling of well-being. And just recently when I was hiking, I came back and I was exhausted, and I really found that Sunrise helps you. It really does help the warming and cooling of the body, and it supports it as it goes through that transition phase of warming up and cooling down before and after exercise. So, Judy, would you like to now tell us a little bit about the Chinese golden seal root?
Yes, Wendy, I'd love to. Golden seal root is one of my favorite herbs because I grew up with it. My grandmother used to use it when she had any trouble with gums or teeth, of their gums or with teeth. We used it if we got a cut or scrape to heal the wound. We used it for stomach, and especially for colds, flus, anything that came along. Now, of course, that was the North American golden seal root, which was medicinal. And so I was very happy when Dr. Dees clarified that our golden seal, Chinese golden seal root, is actually food grade. I would place it more like the dandelion root, kind of like almost tonic, because it's so powerful. In fact, in traditional Chinese medicine, they consider it one of the top 50 herbs because of all the things it can do so effectively. It promotes healthier respiratory, immune, and circulatory systems, as well as urinary tract health. It's considered a cooling herb because it's been used to alleviate hot conditions and inflammation. So this balance is an integral part to our whole philosophy in Sunrider of regeneration, because it's about creating balance. And just as the earth is starting its cooling down process, moving towards autumn and winter, that's the same in our bodies, especially in Arizona. We've had a hot year, but summer in general is building up of heat. It's abundant exercise, it's heat within. So in order to make the transition, we need to gradually cool down. So the golden seal root is going to help us do this, and it covers so many of the things that can be an imbalance, as Julie mentioned, such as allergies or excess congestion. These things will respond very well with the increase of Chinese golden seal root. And so we're not going to keep it on the shelf just if there's something wrong. This is a daily use. We're going to, especially for our 10 days, but I encourage you to at least go through spells of using it regularly because it's so beneficial. Thank you. Now who's going to speak? Is it, oh yeah, Mac for our highly recommended products.
Turn it back over to Mac, huh? Right.
Yeah.
For our highly recommended. The products that were just covered by Judy and Wendy so well are the required products, if you will, for this 10-day challenge we're running. But there were some other products that we considered to be highly recommended. Cali and Fortune Delight, two in particular. And what we're recommending, if it's at all possible, is to use the cinnamon flavor of both, because cinnamon actually really helps to aid in digestion. Now, both of these products are something they're very, very important to me, coming from a martial arts background for the last 20 plus years, because both of them were developed from ancient formulas that came from the Shaolin monks. In the case of Cali, it was to increase mental clarity and mental focus. Cali is a very alkaline drink by nature. It tends to clear the waste as well as the byproducts resulting from normal digestion, enhancing the removal of toxins. Cali feeds the liver and the kidneys, I should say, so they can do their job as they were intended. And again, each of the flavors of Cali tend to have their own special thing. I know the mint Cali, I've always been told, really helps with mental clarity. Cinnamon in terms of digestion, original overall. So again, Cali Night is the last one, of course, is a little bit different in terms of its formulation because it's promoted and formulated more to help the body relax. So a great thing in terms of evening, in terms of just relaxing the body. Fortune Delight, very similar. It came from old ancient formulas designed by the Shaolin monks to relieve the challenges for internal energies that were occurring during martial arts fighting. And again, Fortune Delight is probably, I think it's, if you look at a list of the most alkaline foods that Sunrider provides, Fortune Delight would probably fall as number 2, only behind Electrosport in terms of the alkaline nature of this product. And one of the things that I really like about it, or a couple of things I should say, is it naturally nourishes the urinary tract and the kidneys so we can remove impurities and toxins naturally. It also tends to bind with the fat molecules. So we always joke around about Fortune Delight flushing the fat out of the body. Well, that's exactly what happens because it connects the fat and it flushes out, as well as removing lactic acid from the body, which is so important. If anybody does any kind of exercise, etc., going back to the martial arts side, okay, you build up lactic acid in the muscles when you're exercising strongly. Fortune Delight helps to remove all of that. The Sun Smile Oral Care, again, we recommend the toothpaste, the refresher drops, and the whitening gel. They impact the health of the gums and the rest of the body as well, because as both Julie and Judy indicated, everything starts with what we start putting in our mouth. So we certainly want to nourish that. Sunny Fresh, oh boy, this is another one that I love and I use all the time because it quickly relieves a sore throat pain, scratchiness, coughing, aids in digestion. And for most of us now that are spending a lot of our time on Zoom, we're doing a lot of talking, okay? So Sunny Fresh is something I use all the time just to kind of soothe my throat. Wendy, you mentioned earlier in terms of sunrise and taking a hike and coming back exhausted. Well, I use Sunny Fresh the same way. I do a lot of hiking here in Southern Arizona myself, and just to I don't know if this is really an attribute of it or not, but what I found is it truly helps me. It helps me breathe better. I can breathe deeper, you know, and I think it's just clearing the passages in the body so you can bring more in. Sunny days, you know, I started purchasing Sunny days when they first came out just because it was, I looked at them as kind of a breath mint, if you will, you know, but they do so much more than that because they truly help support our teeth, our gums, our tonsils, and the digestion. Because, and forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, Judy, Wendy, Julie, come in and correct me, but I believe Sunny Days has Sunny Fresh as part of the formula. Okay. And, or is it Sunrise? I get confused between the two sometimes, but again, it is a very big help in terms of digestion. And Korean white ginseng is an adaptogen, which really translates and it helps us adapt. But I'm out of my element, and I'm going to be the first to admit to that with this single herb. So, Judy, would you mind jumping back in and telling us a little bit more about Korean white ginseng, if you can share a little bit more about this one?
Well, you did a great job, Mac. But yes, as an adaptogen, it helps us adapt. And so whether that is from strenuous exercise or if it's from, or if we're convalescing from an illness, it strengthens. It's all-powerful herb, and it's well known in the East, of course. And it's something we might want to consider if we need to overall strengthen ourselves from whatever has been going on. So very good. And I just wanted to add to your Sunny Fresh is that one of the ways you can detect imbalance is the singing tone of a person in this season, as if I needed one more thing that shows imbalance. But those of you who are noticing a difference in your tone of voice, or in your, if you have too powerful of a voice, or if you have too soft, or if it's maybe even a little irritating, that shows imbalance in the digestive system. So I think that's fascinating.
I was going to mention that too about the singing. If I could just jump in for a second, was
Sure.
I was selling a lot of the Sunny Fresh to singers because they found that it really gave them more breath, more that they had a stronger singing voice. And also Sunny Days. When I take Sunny Days and then I sing, I can sing out better. So they both help the breathing and the voice.
I
Excellent.
take all those and I still can't sing. So I'm going to work on the digestive system. So I'm sorry.
Using Sunny Days right now.
I love it. Well, hey, when I sing, the dogs start howling in the background. So I'm going to give this a try, okay? Moving right along here. In addition to the Sunrider foods that we want to be consuming during this 10-day challenge or this 10-day event we're running here, we also want to recommend to really, again, look for the bounty that's in front of us right now as we move into this late summer period of time. And some of the table foods that are available to us through our farmers markets or our co-ops or even the local grocery stores and what we can find right now. And again, there's I just threw a picture up here that of some fresh table foods for this late summer period of time, but be it the fruits, the vegetables, etc. And Judy, if I can turn back to you again real quick. I know one of the things that we talked about heading from summer to late summer and then late summer into fall, we don't want to confuse people on the food. So I'm going to let you take this part and just kind of define for us what we should be focusing on now versus what we'll focus on as we get into October.
Okay, well, just briefly, apples, apples, apples. Aren't you thrilled? I am. Every which way you can do apples. You can adulterate them in pies, or you can eat them fresh and whole and bake them. So whatever, apples are available and plums. And so there is still an abundance of fruit, but we are moving away from the fruits of summer into what is the leftover harvest in late summer. So if you have excess of, we don't in Arizona, but berries, cherries, things like that, it is okay to freeze them. It's just not, try to refrain from making a sugary jam or something with them. But just as squirrels gather nuts and things, it's okay to preserve a few of these goodies and to carry through. Are you overloaded with zucchini? I sure am. But we're eating the squash that's the thin skin squash now. So that's zucchini, yellow squash, several of those others. I have spaghetti squash in abundance, and it's a little bit tougher, but I have to harvest it. So we've had some. But as we move into October, we're going to use thick skin things like pumpkin, the squash that is the butternut, the really hard kind of squash. So, and nuts and seeds. So the best rule of thumb is what is abundant at your farmer's market or your local markets. That's what you want to go for. So kind of use that as by what's available, what is ripening. And that's going to be slightly different depending on the area of the country we're in. It's not that it's wrong to eat a certain food. It's that we want to focus on eating more of the foods in this season. So.
Right on. Thank you, Judy. Anybody else want to add into that, or are we good with this one now? I think it was pretty well covered. Fabulous. That last one is one of my favorites, by the way. I'm a huge garlic fan, so I love that all year round. Anyway, Judy, again, if you don't mind carrying on with this, we want to talk with everybody now just very briefly about how this program is actually going to work for people. And Judy, if you don't mind kind of covering some of the key points, and then we'll jump in and support you.
Okay, good. I'm into support. So some of you have participated with us in 2 other seasons, so you kind of get the general idea. And each time we like input and improvement in how things go. So we do create a point system, and that's more for accountability and things we need to do every day. It's just not about eating the 6 required foods, but it's also about things such as drinking water. And during this season, the type of exercise that's going to be to gain you points is a kind of toning. You think of Pilates or maybe some bar exercises, things that build the center, the core, and whatever that may be, stretching, things like that. And also we're going to give points for, as Julie mentioned, getting your feet in grass. That's hardly an exercise, but it is going to be something that you'll benefit from. So in other words, points will be given for daily use of products and the other things that build health. And there'll also be some bonus points along the way. Now, our summer go round, some people choose not to, they forgot about the points. They're not into it for points, but the accountability helped. And other people, points helped them keep on track, and they wanted the big prize at the end. So whatever floats your boat, so to speak, is how we want you to use it. And we hope you'll join us, because the more the merrier. And one of the biggest benefits of joining us, I feel, is actually the sharing that happens on our Facebook page, because that's where we post ideas, that's where we share, that's where we see the most luscious recipes, the ideas, the ways to get exercise. We see the kind of music people like to dance to, or the kind of walking they're doing, or a little segment to share. And that's where a lot of us, that's where I particularly enjoy and I benefit from. So anything else to add?
I don't think so. I think that's well covered, and really the most important thing that we can do with this is to have fun with it, you guys. I mean, that's what this is really all about. It's sharing, it's having fun, and as well as reaping all of the huge benefits to our wellness, energy, and immunity. So again, I'm just so grateful to be part of this, and I'll share through some of the posts over the period of time why I'm so grateful for it. But Judy, come back in. I see you're holding up a little sample pack there.
Yes, just to help people maybe respond more quickly. a sample wellness pack along with a roller ball of Sunbreeze will be sent to all those who commit. Did we decide Thursday or Friday? By Thursday or
I
Friday?
think we decided Friday, September 17th.
Okay, fine. So this will just be yours to enjoy or yours to share. It's your choice, but it just helps everything get going. And actually, we're already posting. Mac has some great posts already up. So after this, all you have to do is your closest upline sponsor, tell them you want to join, and they will invite you in, and you're a member. And so we ask that you do participate because there's also points for that. And it's mostly because we don't want you to be a tourist. We want you to join us because we learn from you. So we appreciate that, and get it in so you get this.
Absolutely. And again, you guys, I mean, if you can't reach who you need to, you can reach out to one of us, certainly, and we're administrators of the page and we can help everybody join. But yeah, our hope is that, you know, everyone on this call will certainly join us and that you'll feel comfortable enough to share it with other people in your Sunrider organization, your family, your friends that may benefit as well from this time of year. And again, I've never believed in coincidences. And for me, I know that this is something I need to do for myself right now. There's so many reasons why that, again, I'll just tease you. I'll be sharing in the post as to why this is so important to me. But I was so thankful when Judy and Wendy and Julie started talking to me about this, because no better time than right now to jump in, take advantage of this opportunity we have with this here. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And I want to share one other thing with you guys before I unmute everybody and we kind of do our Q&A. But here is the Facebook page that's already been created. It is there, and sorry, I keep getting messages. There are some posts up here. I did a quick video on the unboxing of the products, okay, for the required products. So take a look at that. We've got our transition picture up here for late summer. And again, this is the format that we'll use, or the forum that we'll use, platform, in terms of sharing and putting our posts up and all the things that Judy, Julie, and Wendy spoke about earlier. So just wanted to share this with everybody. Now that that's done, I am going to thank you all for joining us for this recorded section of the call. I'm going to stop recording right now after we say thank you. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.